Hi everyone, Doc Nancy here. Today we're going to be harvesting some nettles. It's a beautiful April day in northwestern Washington, and yeah, you can hear the birds singing, and we're outside Two Eagles yurt and ready to, I'm going to pan over to some of the land where we're going to be harvesting. You see my car there and whatnot, and yeah, back behind the awnings there was where there's a really good nettles patch, and that's where we'll be going soon. I just want to talk a little bit about harvesting nettles. I'll show you how to identify them and really get to know them. Really, the quickest way to know whether or not that's a nettle is by touching it, frankly. And you'll have a sting that might last for a few hours or a few days, but it'll be a reminder of your beautiful nettles. So I usually kind of see it as a gift. A lot of people harvest nettles without gloves. Hats off to them, because that is not something I've ever been able to master. I'm not the most delicate person in the world, and just maybe am a little too clumsy to perfect that without going home with extremely buzzy fingers. So I usually use some gloves. I usually use a double pair of rubber gloves on my right hand. My left hand I usually use to hold my bag, so I don't usually put any glove on that hand. I've tried using leather gloves, but leather gloves are a little too thick. I generally use deer leather gloves because it's what I found the blackberry and rose thorns really don't go through. So they're pretty thick, but not very good for harvesting nettles, really. And let's see, what else? I guess that's all we need to... Basically, my tools for harvesting nettles are very simple. There's the nettles, there's the gloves, and there's a paper bag. And that's pretty much what I use. I try to keep things simple so that everyone can do it. No fancy equipment needed to bring home some medicine and food for your family, okay? Alrighty, so I'm going to pause this and then we'll go over to the nettle patch. Hi all, it's Doc Nancy again, and here we are in our nettle patch on our Kinder Spirit property. And all that green stuff behind me that you see is just nettles. And we have quite a bit of nettles. So I'll be harvesting from these today. This is actually my third harvest for this year so far, but you'll see that they're still quite tall, and the reason for that is twofold. Number one, I only harvest a little bit each time I come because there's only so much I can process. I have a small operation currently, and so I don't want to harvest more than I can properly process, which means dry and screen within a day or two of harvest. So that's one reason. The other reason is that because we have such a bounty of nettles here, is that I'm really only harvesting the top leaves. And the reason for that is because I really want these guys to set seed, because I use the seed as medicine as well and food. And I want the roots to get fed, and all the creatures that are feeding the roots to get fed as well. So I don't want to be too greedy with it. I want to be respectful of it, and I don't want to take more than I need or more than I can actually honestly process. Okie doke. Let's see. I'm going to pick a nettle leaf here so you can get a sense of... Let's see. I'm just going to... I usually just pinch these guys off and hopefully it'll work. Yeah. So I usually pinch about this much off when I'm harvesting. You'll see these nettles have opposite leaves. They've got little ridges on the edges. They're somewhat palmate, which is what we call that leaf shape that kind of looks like the palm of your hand. The little bracts, the little, oops, let me get this back in to the frame. The little bracts, which are these little kind of whitish, greenish things down at the where the leaves come out. Oh, there's a little spider guy there too. I try to not harvest if I see somebody's been eating stuff, but I don't know if you can see Mr. Spider. He's come to my thumb, so he's not sure what to do. I'll shake him off, and then we'll go on. But and some of them have red tips. Some of the nettles will have more red tips than others. This one has a little bit of red in it, you can see. Different people always ask me, what that means. Doctrinistic signature wise, it might mean that there's more vitality, more fire, more sting to it. I can't really say that that's true from a research perspective, but I harvest those that have the red and those that don't, and mix them all together so we'll get a good mixture of whatever that property is that's causing that to be red. Okay, yeah, and you can see in there, it's such a beautiful plant. I really love it. All right, so you can see that I just pinched it off. Pinched it off right at the stem. I'm still getting used to this camera stuff. And just the top few leaves. And let me just see if I can get you this plant that we actually harvested from is this one right here. So you can see I've just clipped off the top. There's quite a few leaves. I might actually also take this, I don't know, let's see, take this side branch as well, of the little ones. Okay, so I'll be back in a second and show you what we've got. Okay. The gloves do not help. Hi all, it's me again, and I just wanted to sort of give you an idea of what it's like to be down at the level of the nettle. There's actually a lot of food here besides the nettle. There's the little, what I call wild arugula. There's some cleavers or gallium, aperina here. There's lots of chickweed. There's also miner's lettuce in the area as well. So probably I'll have some of these wild greens for my lunch today, in the middle of picking all the nettles. So just wanted to give you the plants view and how everything is growing in community here. It's so wonderful. I also wanted to show you that a lot of these nettles grow right where we've put our compost bin. Sorry if I'm making any of you dizzy. I'm still getting used to this camera. I think I need a GoPro. But yeah, anyhow, this is our compost bin. And yeah, we put all our household waste and whatnot in here. And also, as I harvest, any of the plant waste will go in there. And I felt it important to put this compost bin close to where the nettles grew, because I knew that we would be extracting some nutrients from the soil. Now these nettles have been here for probably generations, and that's why I call them old growth nettles. Nobody's really worked this land much. I think it was logged probably 40 years ago or something. And this patch of nettles is just remarkable. It's just remarkable. Even here in April, many of these leaves, let's see if I can do this, are bigger than my hand. Ow, I just got zapped. But I mean, you can see how big these dang nettles leaves are, and this is just April, right? So it's pretty early still in their growing time. That's why I call these old growth nettles, and I really think they do have superior nutritional value to those that might be farmed, although I'm sure farmers are doing a really great job with their nettles as well. But there's just something about both the nutrition of the old forest soil and as well as the vibration of the bird song that comes here continuously. Probably a little coyote pee, a little bobcat, stuff. Yeah, so there's unique nutrients that these guys are getting that maybe your farmed nettles aren't. I just know that they work better than any nettles I've ever used, especially on hair growth in women who are usually losing their hair because of hormonal or menstrual or stress issues, a combination of all of those. So yeah, so I really have a lot of respect for these nettles. And I was thinking too, maybe the reason they work so well with hair growth is because I only take the top. So it's the apical meristem. It's the part of the plant that is really into growth, new growth. And everyone who I've had use these nettles for hair growth talks about how they have this baby fine new growth hair coming in where their hair hadn't grown for a bit. So it's really kind of exciting for me as a practitioner to see that and to be able to help people, because as many practitioners know, women and probably men too, but it seems more culturally okay for women to complain about losing their hair, and it's the one thing that will, sometimes I feel like, they take a more dire diagnosis a little better than hair loss. And so, anywho, we're able to help people with hair loss and just nutrient status. I use these as my multivitamin, basically. I have some in my green tea every morning. Mix it with my genmaicha. Okay, enough about me. I'm gonna go pick nettles, and you guys, go about your business, and I'll get back to you if I find something else interesting to say, or once we fill up a bag or two. Okay? All right, see you soon. Hi, it's me again, and as I'm picking, I wanted to talk a little more about the community of plants here. And for instance, this is a wild rose. There's quite a few of them in this area and throughout the land. Really excited to be able to harvest some wild roses and wild rose hips later in the year. Also, there's this tree behind me. Get this. Well, it's not leafed out yet, but it's a cascara. So we've got that here. Lots of cherries, and of course the alders. And then over there, I don't know if you can see with the, let's see. Yeah, okay. Over there, I'm just going to sort of point it that way and hope that you see. There's a stick there, and in front of the big old log, and next to that stick there's a crataegus, a little hawthorn that I planted last year. We also have some elders in the area here, and of course salmonberry, and wild plums are in the area right here. So lots of really good forest food for us all. And yeah, and it's always important to not take more than you need, or that you can process in a reasonable time. Greed and waste are really what brings the vibration of our planet down, and really, depletes the resources that we all have. So if we can all be mindful of taking just what we need and what we can use, and maybe what we can sell to earn money to buy other things. Look at all these gorgeous nettles. And then we'll have less waste, and we'll have a more peaceful planet. That's really, really the goal, isn't it? All right, so I'm gonna, and along those lines, one thing I learned from Elliot who just passed away, who was the guy who really introduced plant spirit medicine to a lot of folk. Anyhow, I always remember him talking about how happy it made the plants that somebody came and sang to them again. So I make sure I sing while I'm harvesting, either a song I make up or one from the 1970s or whenever. Yeah, and I think that puts me in a good space and puts plants in a good space. Yeah, I don't usually bring a musical thing to plug into my ears or anything because I like the sound of the birds and like to be connected to it all. Okay, so I'm gonna just pause this again. Talk to you soon. So I'm hoping you can see those sulfur tough mushrooms there. Sulfur tough mushrooms, any mushroom really, is a really good sign that there's good decomposition happening in your soil, breaking down all the woody things, sequestering carbon in their mycelia. Yeah, they're really wonderful things. You'll see, I don't know if you can see, but this soil is just, the duff on my soil here is just fantastic, and that's feeding these nettles. So that's pretty special. And again, there's our compost bin. Yeah, and there's the yurt and our little privacy tents. And then maybe I'll take you on a jaunt here, because I hate turning you on and off, but yeah, I just wanted to bring you through here. Now, for those of you who have bought property, you know, but we didn't know at the time, that you have to do a feasibility study whenever you buy property to make sure that you can basically live there. And what determines that is whether or not you can pass a perk test. That's what this big hole is. It's for the perk test. Well, the guys were supposed to fill that in. I asked them to fill them in, but they didn't. Guys. Ooh, look at this. Little claytonia with a flower. That's pretty cool. Anyhow, but they did build a road so we could get back here to these nettles. So I'm very happy for them for that. You'll see as we go into the forest there's a lot of nettles. I'm not going to go get those. I'll leave that to the forest. Oh, that's a nice big one now. So, yeah. Someday I'll fill this in. All right. Okay. Off to harvesting. I've almost got a full bag. You'll see it over there. And so this is the back of our Canipe food forest that I'm starting to develop. Father Canipe, as many people know, was a guy who started doing some hydrotherapy back in Germany back in the mid-1800s, and I do a lot of his therapeutic techniques. And one of his 5 pillars of health were herbs. So I'm putting together a herb forest back here. Lots and lots of elders, and just clearing it out a little bit and making some paths. I gotta beat back some of the salmonberry that have been there for who knows how many years, generations. So I'm gonna go around to the front of this now and do some more picking of nettles. Hi, so this is the entrance to the Canipe food forest that I'm developing. I don't know if you can see back there, but there's a bench back there that my grandpa built back in the 1940s from redwood. It's probably some old growth redwood. Yeah, and so see there's a lot of work to be done here. As soon as we move in August to this property, I'll be probably advertising for people to come help really develop this. Right now I've got some osmoriza that I've planted. I did plant a few angelica plants here and some valerian, but some of it doesn't look like it's made it through the winter, so we will try again. I think planting in the fall is probably a better idea than planting in the spring. So, yeah, I'm starting to make some paths over there. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, and you can also see that there's quite a few nettles to take care of. So I'll be working on that for the rest of today. Yeah, so I don't know how much more I'll share with you here, because this is probably getting kind of boring just looking at plants and hearing me drone on. So I will probably get back to you when I'm processing. Okie doke. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm back again. I thought I was done, but there was something I found that I wanted to share with you. As some of you know, the nettle family and the cannabis family are very closely linked. They used to be sort of connected. And I found a particular nettle plant that shows you how it could actually be sort of, let's see if I can get this little guy, do his close-up. Yeah, it's sort of hard to get it right. Okay. Yeah, so this little guy, when I looked at him, I was like, damn, that looks like cannabis. But it's not, it's a nettle. Yeah, I've lectured before about the cannabis and the nettle family, and you know how they really are here to help humankind figure things out, find their highest self. So yeah, they're good. Hops, you might know, is in the cannabis family too, so they're kind of an interesting group of plants. So anywho, just wanted to show you that, because that one was sort of remarkable, because the leaves are so much longer in a sense than the others. Some of the other nettles that you might see, if I get that very well in that framing. But yeah, okay, thanks. Okay, another little nettle fact. So there's these plants called purple dead nettles, and a lot of people go, why are they called dead nettle? They don't sting, they don't really look a lot like nettles, but in fact they do. If you look at the shape of the leaf, and here we have some nettles growing behind these dead nettles, so you can kind of get a sense of it. They're actually in the mint family, so not a nettle at all. Nettles, interestingly, have a square stem, but are not in the mint family. And of course, one of the telltale signs of a mint family is that they do have a square stem. So these are the reasons why people have named this plant purple dead nettle. Why it's dead nettle? I don't know, but maybe because it doesn't sting you. I don't know. Over here, we do have some more amazing mushrooms. Oh, I can smell them. They smell so yummy and fungal. Yumma. Kind of like shiitakes. Alrighty. So, here we go again. Bye-bye.